Welcome back to the garage. We left off in the last video where I showed you guys what I picked up for used engine parts. I got a smoking deal on that. I'll break it down just a little bit more. I actually paid $250 for this and $50 for this with the cylinder and the piston and the valves and everything. So $50 for this was a steal because I'm getting I got the camshafts. They're actually still in here. I got the camshafts, the covers, everything. I mean, go on eBay and check for yourselves. Just, you know, one camshaft is going to be $100 if it's in good shape. 75 to $100 just for the camshaft. One camshaft. I got both camshafts. I got all the valves. The valves are, you know, $20 a piece. And I'm gonna pull the guides out as well. And the guides are, I mean, you can buy aftermarket performance guides, or you can get genuine Yamaha guides. And the genuine Yamaha guides, I already priced it out, was going to be about $70 for the 5 guides. But I'm going to get them for free because I'm taking them out of this. So again, smoking deal. I mean, there's a lot of labor involved in swapping stuff over and making sure you do it right so you don't damage stuff. I'll go over that process with you as well. So let me set the stand up and let's get going. This is the original head. Let's get going on swapping the good stuff out of this and putting it into that and reworking this head to make this head functional again. Very well may be fixable. Let's pull the valves. Anyways, the valves are completely done. We know that. All the caps look good. Let's pull the caps out and see what we got. And we got a shim in there. Of course, none of the shims matter because, oh boy, look at that. Drop the keeper in there. We got a valve keeper that's just about ready to pop out. I don't know if you guys can see that. See it right there? Grab my pick. Right here. That valve keeper just about ready to pop out of there. Good thing it didn't pop out because it would have destroyed the bucket. Probably ruined the top of the head. Alright, we got a problem here. That this keeper doesn't want. This shim don't want to come out. Well, that one came out okay. And that one came out okay. This one don't want to come out of there. That's not good. Well, the easiest way I know of to get that out is with a socket. And you pound it and it'll knock that right out of there. We'll use a spark plug socket and I'm just going to put it over that and I'm going to hit it with a hammer and it should pop. There we go. And it popped out. That's a pretty thin shim. Put it back in that bucket. Well, these valves do not look very good, that's for sure. Let's see if I can pull them out. I'll start with this one. Let me get my tool, that homemade tool that I made. All right, looks like it's gonna work. So let me put a rag underneath here. Take up that gap so it's not pushing down. That'll do. There we go. And the keeper just popped. Should be okay. It doesn't look too damaged. Throw that in there. See if I can get the other one. For this, I have a pointy magnet that I can get down inside there. All right, I got them out. Got them separated. I had to get help. Have my son help me. I don't have a proper spring compression tool for these small heads. Probably should pick one up. Anyways, there's the last spring. Put that back in there. So I got intake and exhaust separated. Let's take a look at these valves, shall we? We'll pop this first one out. Hopefully they slide out. Yeah, that one came out. As you can see, she's pretty bent. And that's the exhaust valve. Put that on the exhaust side. Another exhaust valve. They look like they were burning good. That one's bent. And then the third exhaust valve. She's stuck in there. Yeah. I have to give her a tapperoni. There we go. Wow. That one there is really bent. Woohoo! This is the one that probably did the piston in. The valve guide is smashed on that. I think it's probably still all right, because what a lot of people do is they grind them down. Maybe I'll grind it down. It looks like it might still be all right. All right, let's do the exhaust valves, see what those look like. That one there is pretty bent too. I would say they're not usable. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. You think these valves are usable? Joke. All right, this one here. Wow. These might be the most bent valves I've ever seen. I mean, I've done them. I did that YZ 250F, and it had 3 bent exhaust valves, but they weren't bent as bad as these. This is all 5 bent. Whew. I think we got a couple of broken valve guides in here. That one there is broken. That one, I can't tell if it's cracked or not. Yeah, that one's cracked. That one there is broken. And can't tell about that one. That one might be cracked. It might be all right. That one's definitely broken, cracked. These valve guides got to come out. Let's get these washers out of here. Down the bottom. Up. You know what? Don't think I'm gonna be able to reach those without. I have to use a pick, I think. The magnet won't go all the way in there. All right, let's see. Let me turn you off. I got to flip it over and try to pick these 5 washers out of here. Not washers, actually. They're hardened seats for the springs, so they don't wear out the aluminum. But they're stuck. They get stuck down in there with. There's one. Give you guys an idea what it looks like. That's what it looks like right there. They get stuck in there because of the suction that the oil gives them. Let me go in there and take the rest of these out. All right, let's pull the valve seals out because those are going in the trash anyway. There's one. I'm going to see if I can maybe pound that out a little bit. See if it moves. I think it might have. Let's make sure we're not hitting the wall back there. And we're not. It looks like it's going. There's one valve guide, and as you can see, it's pretty broken. Let's see if we can get the rest of these broken ones out. That one's cracked, so let's take this one out. You can see it, it's right there. See, it's got a nice little crack in it. That would have eventually failed. So that had to be replaced. Let's see, what's the next one? That one looks okay. That one's smashed and that one's got to come out. Now, let's get this one out. That one's no bueno. And I think that final one right there has got to go too. And that one might be okay. This valve doesn't look like it took too big a hit. I think that one might be all right. We'll leave that one in there. And I don't know about this one. I can't really tell. But so that was a really smashed one there, and this one's pretty bent too. I don't know if I want to replace that guide as well. Well, what the hell? From this far in, we might as well do them all. Might as well do them all. I can't tell if that one's any good or not, but we'll replace it. Might as well knock them all out. Yeah, that one looked like it was alright too, but we're in there, we might as well. I mean, the thing is, if I can fix this head up, save myself a lot of money. And I think we should be able to do that. Alright, let me right now, that spark plug looks like it's overhanging a little bit right there. So that looks like it's a piece of the electrode. Let's see if I can tap that back out of the way, maybe. Yeah, it's tapping. Alright, broke off, which is good. Let's see if we can get the plug out. I really don't want to damage this. I don't know if this spark plug wrench is going to fit. Yep. Alright. Let me grab a ratchet. These heads are very expensive to buy, even secondhand. So if you can save one, it's worth doing. If you guys want to see the work I did on that YFZ450, I had a similar issue with the head on that, and you can go back into my library and see that one. And yeah, that plug is pretty much done. But the threads look good, and that's a good thing. All right. I guess what we do at this point is try to clean this thing up. Okay, I just want to show you guys one thing. So some of these areas are really raised up high from where the piston hit it, and I am going to Dremel this to smooth it all out. But I want to remove as little metal as possible. So the areas that are sticking up really high or that are bulged up at all, I'm taking a flat punch and I'm flattening them out. And it doesn't take much because it's aluminum and it moves real easy. And what this will do is it pushes the material back down into the gouge. Back down into the gouge, and it will keep me from having to remove a lot of material, and it also kind of fills it back in so that it makes it easier for me to, it's going to make it easier to smooth out. Now, the right thing to do is to buy a new head, but this is a budget build, and I want to show people how they can fix this stuff in their backyard. If you don't have a ton of money and you don't want to pot your bike out, let's say you like your bike and you want to keep it, you like it, you don't want to put a ton of money into it. Well, I'm showing you right now how to do it. And I've been working this thing for probably, I don't know, 15 minutes now. And as you guys can see, that looks a lot better already. And I haven't taken any metal off yet. All I'm doing is just moving the metal around that's already here. Trying to put it back where it was, so there's less to grind off. And I think that's pretty good right there. So I'm going to shut you off. I'm going to get the Dremel going. I'm not going to record that because it makes a mess, and I don't want to get all over the camera and all over my workbench and everything, because I'm going to do it somewhere else. So I'm going to Dremel this all up. I'll come back when I'm done. I finished using the Dremel on this, and as you can see, the head looks much better. There's still some deep gouges. I don't know where my pick is. Here it is. There's a pretty deep gouge right here still, but it's going to be fine. It shouldn't affect anything. I mean, this isn't going to be a race bike anyways. It's going to be a trail quad, so we're not looking to get maximum horsepower, maximum flow. But for the most part, I hammered down all the stuff that was sticking up really high and pushed it back into the cavities. And then I Dremeled it all smooth, and I hit it with some sandpaper, and that's the end result. And I'll compare it to a good head, and you can see that the shape is pretty close. I haven't really changed anything. Turn it so it's the right way. I think it'll be perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all the valves out of this head, and we're going to get ready to lap them into this head. And I'm going to take the valve guides out, and I'm going to show you how to put them into this head. So let me do that. I'm going to do that off camera because I already showed you how to get the valve guides out of this head and take the valves out and all that. So I won't bore you with doing it twice. Let me take all this stuff out. Let me strip this head down, and I'll come back when I'm done. The head is dismantled, and from what you can see here, I don't know if that's making it worse or better. It's pretty rusty. This light is terrible, folks. Let me get the other light. Yeah, that one's better. You can see it's pretty rusty. But the valve seats and everything look good. I don't think these valves are good. I think these valves are good. I just need to clean them up. You know, you can see the rust on that one. It's pretty bad. But nothing a wire wheel won't cure. And it looked like there was some critters maybe getting in there. It looks like spider eggs maybe or something. I don't know. We'll clean it up on the wire wheel. So let me do that now. Let me clean these all up. Okay, the valves are all wire wheeled now. And you can see they're nice and clean. There's still some carbon in there, but not going to worry about it. They're all clean, and they should seat pretty well now. I got all the carbon off them. They look good. This is the middle valve. I want to make sure I don't confuse that with the rest, because I know on a YFZ450, the middle valve is different. So I'm going to put an M on this just so I don't forget. So just with marker, just so I know that that's the middle valve, because it does have a different part number. I don't know exactly what makes it different, but all right, let's try lapping these in. Actually, I still got to take the guides out of here, but I just want to go over guide removal for you guys, just so you know, before we start lapping. Well, I can't lap because there's no guides in it, but It's really not that difficult to take the guides out. You just don't want to damage them, especially if you plan on reusing them. Again, this is a budget build. It pains me to have to reuse these because normally I wouldn't. I would just buy new. But I just want to show that you can do it this way. I don't recommend it, but if somebody's on a budget, it can be done. You just want to make sure you have a proper tool. So I want to show you, here's a valve guide. And you want to have the tool that goes into the valve guide and has a shoulder on it, so that when you hammer on it, you're pushing it straight out. And it's for either side. It works either way, putting them in and taking them out. And it's the diameter of this is slightly smaller than that, so you don't score the surface, because they're precision machines, so these press in there. Don't attempt to take these out without the proper tool. These tools are not that expensive. You can buy them on eBay or Amazon, or you can get them from the Yamaha dealership or any dealership for whatever bike you're working on. But I strongly suggest you use the proper tool. And again, I already showed you guys once how to do this, but I'm going to show you again. You just put it in the hole here and you just hammer it. All the valve guides are out. Valves are out. Everything's out. So at this point here, there's a couple of other good things that we could save off of this. We could save the coolant neck here, and we could probably take that stud out if we wanted to reuse that. I don't really see anything else worth saving on this. I'll probably strip that stuff off later. I am going to send this to a shop and see if they can weld that up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll definitely see on that. All right, one more thing I want to show you guys is that the proper tool for taking out the valve guides, which I have all of them right here now, as you can see on the table, and I put them with the corresponding valve that I took out, is the valve seal itself. These heads, you can see that they're pretty deep down in here, and it really is a pain trying to get the valve seals in. But this tool works perfectly for also installing valve seals, because you just put it down in the hole and push on it, and that's it. So I suggest anyone who's going to do engine rebuilding on Japanese motors, especially these small motors, this is a tool you got to have. All right, let's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clean these valve seals up. I mean these valve guides up, and I'm going to heat the head a little bit with my heat gun, and then I'm going to install them. So let me clean these up with brake clean, and then let me get my heat gun out, and I need to clean up the inside of this head as well before I install those with brake clean, so there's no debris inside those holes. I'm going to do all that now. And what heating it up does is aluminum expands rapidly. Not rapidly, but it expands quite a bit when it gets warm. And this being cast iron, and at room temperature right now, should give me a little bit of a relief on how tight they fit together on the press. Because the press fit on these, I'm gonna say is I mean, obviously it's in millimeters, but I'm going to say it's probably a half a thou. So by doing this, it'll end up making that press less than half a thou, maybe 1 or 2/10, which will make putting that in there a lot easier, and I don't have to worry about it galling on the way down. I'll show you guys this first one, and then I'll do the rest off camera. There it is. Now it's all the way in. Yeah, she's bottomed out now. And you can see down in there, you can see that guide is in there now, and there's no guides in there. So that's pretty much how you do it. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna install the rest of the guides, and I'll come back when I'm done. All the valve guides are in. It's a little hot for me heating it up. You can see down inside there that they're all in there. Get that out of the way. You can see them, they're all in there. And you can see the steam coming off it. I don't know if you can pick the camera's picking it up, but it's pretty warm. And they went right in really nice and easy. And that's kind of what you want. You don't want them galling and going in at a weird angle, and then you're never going to be able to get the valve to seat properly. So that's just the way I do it. In case you guys are wondering, you don't have to worry about putting these in too deep, because there's a little tiny snap ring on there. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a sort of like a little, a small version of a piston ring clip, piston wrist pin clip, and it's on a groove inside that. If you guys can see that there, and you just hammer them in until you hear the sound change when you know it's like bottomed out, and then you're all set. You can't put these in too deep, so I wouldn't worry about that. I got two that I took out of the other head, one intake and one exhaust that is still pretty good. That's still in good shape. I'm going to hang on to these, and I'll put them in bags and mark them for what bike they came out of and what side of the head they went on. I know, exhaust or intake. Never know, I might need them again. So I got the valves in, and I just want to show you how to give it a quick check. And as you can see, the head looks pretty good, not bad. But we do have issues, and I'll show you how to check them. If you tap on a valve, you know, with no springs in it, because, you know, they're all loose right now. If you tap on a valve and it makes noise, that means it's not seating on the seat properly. So let's go one at a time. Let's start with this one here. Let me hold that. Looks good. 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 So this one here, the seat's going to need work. All right, I think what I want to do now is I want to lap in the ones that I think are going to be okay. These two are definitely good. I don't hear anything on that. So I think we just have a problem with this one valve seat, and we might have to cut it. But let's slap in here and see where we're at. I will start with this valve right here. So I'm going to pop all these out, start with that one. I'll show you the first one, and then I'll do the rest. And then when we come to this one here that's a little janky, I'll show you guys how I'm going to fix that. All right, so we're going to pop this valve out real quick. Get my finger in the hole. All right, that one's out. And I'm going to put a little bit of my compound on there. Anyone who watches my channel has seen me do this 1,000 times, so, well, all you guys that are familiar with my channel have seen me do this 1,000 times, but I'll do it again for those that haven't. And don't, I mean, there's plenty of videos on my channel that show this process in depth. I'm just gonna do one for now and go from there. So let's pop this one in this hole here. We'll start with this one. Paper towels. All right, I'm just going to use a rubber hose on the back of the valve stem. I'm just going to turn it. And it's not really grabbing too good. I think I need a smaller hose. All right, got a smaller hose. Force that in there a little bit. All right, that'll work. You guys can see that spinning. All right, so you guys get the idea. I'm gonna turn you off now. I'm gonna lap all the valves in, and then when I get to that trouble spot, which is I think this one here. I'll turn you guys back on. All right, guys, I tried to lap that first one in, and even that first one was pretty far off. So I think I'm gonna cut each seat and then lap them in. And this is my valve cutting kit. You can see it right here. Got all the different angles and such for the different valves. All right, so I'm gonna cut this valve now. I'm gonna use a 40. So the valve is, the valve seat is supposed to be 30, 45, 60. So the 45 is what contacts the valve itself. The valve is 44 degrees. The valve seat's 45 degrees. So I'm just gonna cut where the valve seats. I'm not gonna worry about the other two angles. As long as they don't interfere, we'll be fine. So let me just spin this a few times. I blued it up. We'll get a good idea of what we're cutting here. And you can see there, it's nice. You can see that ring. Get a pick or something to point. See that nice ring we got in there right now? That should give us a decent seat. It looks good all the way around. You could tell that we had a little bit of blowout right there. But I think that's good. I don't want it too big on one side. So let's try that. Let's see what happens now. Let me try lapping that in, and I'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, let's take a look. Looks like the valve's contacting all the way around. So the valve's not bent, that's good. Let's take a look in here and see what we got going on. What we want is to see the shine gone. We want it to see it look like a sandblasted surface. So we got a little bit of, I think I need to cut a little more off of that side. Let me lean towards that side just a tad. I cleaned it up a little bit. Maybe just a tiny bit more. We blew it up. Take a look at it. This will tell us the contact in the seat. It'll show us where we're rubbing and when we're not rubbing. But anyways, you guys get the idea. This is a long, drawn-out process. I'm going to turn you off now, and I'm going to spend the multiple hours it's going to take me to get these set to where they need to be, and I'll come back when I get them done. Again, the proper thing to do here would be to buy a new head, but I just want to show people that it can be fixed. All right, I'm going to break into the middle of it here. I know I wasn't going to come back until I was done, but I just want to show you something. So I got this one valve done. I literally been working on this for 45 minutes. I had to cut all three angles again, and the exhaust valves I thought were decent, and the seats were really bad. So I got a lot of work ahead of me here to get these seats where they're working again, or should I say where they'll seal again and give me good compression. I can do it. It's going to happen. It's just going to take a lot of time. It might take me an hour a hold. It could be 5 hours. I could have 5 hours more worth of work here. I'm not going to record all that. I used all three angles. I cut all three angles. You can see this this valve right here. It looks really sandblasted right there. And I'll compare it to the other exhaust valve where you can see it's really shiny because that hasn't been cut. This valve's been cut to the seat and you can see how it's sandblasted. The grinding compound does that. And if you look down inside here, let me get the good light on it. And if you look down inside the valve seat area here, I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it. You can see how it's looks sandblasted. If you guys can see that, it looks sandblasted. That's where the seat has been recut, and it looks good. And you can see how shiny it is and how clean the three angles are: top, middle, and bottom. And you can see how beat up that one is. There's no definition. So I'm gonna have to cut all three angles on every single one. The head will be like brand new again, outside of the fact that it's got all this, you know, all this dimpling on top here, but it will function like brand new. So I'm going to continue on with this, and probably spend the rest of today and tomorrow getting this head squared away, and I'll come back when I'm done. Well, I got it all done. If you guys can see that. I had to cut all three angles on all 5 valves, and the head is good to go now. I'm not going to say it's brand new, but it's definitely functional now, and saved us a ton of money. The right thing to do would have been to buy a new head, but I wanted just to show you guys that you can actually fix one of these if you put the time into it. I was lucky enough to get that other head, and basically that other head was free because he gave me the cams, the cam covers, the valve cover, the cylinder, the piston, and the head for 50 bucks. The cams alone are worth $100, probably more. So I got the head for nothing. So I got all the parts for this head, the valves and the guides, for free. So basically I rebuilt this head for nothing. It was a lot of work. I am not going to tell you it wasn't. It took me about an hour of valve seat. So I got between 5 and 8 hours into this thing. If you had a garage do it, it's just not worth it. It's just, I mean, that's $500 at $100 an hour. So you better have to buy a new head, and then you don't have all this damage. But I did it myself. For you guys out there that want to attempt this yourselves, just buy yourself a valve cutting kit and a valve seat cutting kit, and just give it a shot. So your bottom angle's 30, your valve seat's 45, and your top angle's 58 degrees. And you need to cut all three, because if you don't, you're gonna rub on one or the other, and it's a lot of work. And I'm gonna be honest with you out there, this is more of a master mechanics project. If you're just starting out and you don't know a lot about valve angle, or how to, or even know much about 3-angle valves, this is probably above you. But hey, you know what? Give it a shot. The head's junk anyways. I mean, give it a shot. See if you can do it. But this took a lot of work because I did it by hand. If I had a machine, it probably would have been a lot faster, because then I could have dialed it in within the 1,000th of an inch, and I could have just chipped away at it and got it done. But I didn't. I did it by hand, so I had to hand work it. I had to lap it. I had to see my high and low spots. I had to hand work those small spots, lap it again until I got a full contact ring all the way around for the 45-degree seat. And again, it took a long time to do it. I laid the valves out like this, just so I wouldn't be confused. So I got the exhaust port here, and these are the valves, the way they go in the head. And I checked it off as soon as I got a seat done. Again, this took a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort. I mean, I was really tired last night when I got close to finishing. I had to finish the seat that was really bad. I had to finish that today, but it's all done. All I got to do now is just clean it up, put the valve seals in it, and install the valves, and it's done. It's good to go. I'm still waiting on my complete engine gasket set for the valves, so I'm going to shut you off now. When the gasket set comes in, it should be here in another day or two. I'll show you how to install how to assemble the head. I guess that's it. So I'm going to shut off now and come back when I get my gasket set. I got the gasket set in. As you can see, the full gasket set. I don't know how good these gaskets are. I only paid $15 for this set. Does seem to have a metal head gasket. We're going to give it a try because it's a budget. We're going to go with the budget build just to see how cheap we can get this motor back together. So let's see, we'll add another $15 to the $30 for the shock, which is $45. The $5 for the pads, which is $50. What else did I buy? The engine, which was another $300. $250 for the lower end, and then for the top end was another $50. So what's that bring us to? $350, somewhere in that area. I don't think I bought anything else. So we're at about $350 on this rebuild. As you can see from this set, if you notice, these are the valve seals right here, and I cut them out of the package, and you can see that, interesting enough, there's only 4. This is a 5-valve engine. So I'm starting to wonder if the rest of this gasket set's going to be right. Well, I guess we'll find out when we start putting it together. Luckily, I went down into my storage where I have all my motorcycle parts, and I just so happen to have a couple more valve seals. So brand new valve seal there, so now I have 5. But again, when you buy this cheap stuff, you never know what you're going to get. And anyway, let's put the head back together. Okay, so first I'm going to put a little bit of oil down in these seats here. Not a lot, just a couple of drops, just to give these washers something to sit on. I'm going to pop these in there. Actually, I'm going to grab a pair of tweezers because it'll make it easier. Can't get my fingers down in those holes, so I'm just going to grab it with tweezers and drop them right in. Make sure they sit down flat. Yeah, just want to take a look down in there, make sure. Yep. Put the rest of them in. All right, now we're going to put the valve seals in. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And I'm going to continue to use my tool. And I'm going to put the valve seal on the tool like this. And I like to put a little bit of oil inside the seal, just a drop. And then I'm going to put this in here and push it on. And that's it. I have the valves all in now. It's not easy to do without the proper valve tool. I was able to do it using a open-end wrench and a pair of tweezers and putting a rag underneath there to keep the valve from coming out. Same way I took them off. Anyways, they're all on there. They look good. I think we should be in good shape. I think from here we are going to... I can't set the valve lash because I don't have the keeps for the cams. I ordered those from Podzilla, and I got a couple of things that are on back order. So when those come in, we'll bench set the valve lash. So I can't do that now. So I guess at this point here, I'm going to call it the video. And this video is basically how to rebuild a damaged head, or how to repair a damaged head. And basically, I redid this whole head for free because I used the parts that I got off that junk head I got for nothing. So it was a lot of work. The right thing to do would be to buy a new head. Personally, I mean, I wouldn't. Let me get a light on this thing. I wouldn't use this head under normal circumstances. I would put the money into the bike and just buy a new head. But this bike really isn't worth that total investment, and I think this head will be fine for what we're doing, and we're good to go. It doesn't look that bad. I don't know. Give me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. It's all set, all done. So I want to thank you guys for watching, hanging out with me in the garage. learning a few things. Learning how to save money for one, and how to rebuild a damaged head. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in video 3, where I is it video 3 or video 4? Video 4 will be where we start working on the lower end of the motor and getting ready to put in the frame. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.